All right, welcome back and welcome to what's very likely going to be my final video before Major League Baseball takes this relocation vote for the Oakland A's to permanently move to Las Vegas. All indications right now look like this. On Thursday, the final day of these scheduled meetings in Arlington, Texas, among baseball's owners, that's when the vote is going to happen. And you could kind of predict that from the very beginning. I mean, weeks and months ago. This wasn't going to happen on day one of the meetings and then everybody just hangs out and talks about it afterwards. It would come down to the final day, which also corresponds to Commissioner Rob Manfred's scheduled press conference. I assume he'll wrap everything up that was discussed, but you'd have to think, among other big league topics, that the A's relocation is going to dominate a majority of however long this press conference goes, 20, 30, 40 minutes or more. But, I mean, is this even going to be televised, recorded? Who's going to attend it? Who's going to ask the difficult questions, which I'll get into in just a second? Because the way the commissioner has operated in the past couple weeks and months, he never really does this in front of a recorded or live audience. It's just with a group of selected national reporters who don't necessarily have a vested interest in the process or a detailed background on the process. They know what they know based on aggregation and everything they've heard about it, but I'm really curious to find out what even gets brought up and discussed in terms of the back and forth conversation with the commissioner. And it just still amazes me. I know the title, the thumbnail of this video is unbelievable, but it still blows me away that this can go forward without possibly being all secured as it relates to every last detail. This is not a finalized plan. Kind of like an EIR, it has to be drafted, it has to be gone over with a very fine lens, and then approved, and then maybe even challenged. But in this case, baseball can just say, well, that's good enough, and we'll approve this relocation. I mean, there's a lot of things in life you can't just submit incomplete and still get it approved. Important things like a home loan or paperwork for your college degree or a job application. You can't provide half the details and think that they'll just gloss over that and you'll be fine. But apparently in baseball, with relocation of all things, apparently that might be okay. And let's just square this away right now. My last video I talked about, and really acknowledged we probably don't know everything. In fact, I know we don't know everything. I know renderings are out there. I know some financial planning is out there on how this gets done. But that still doesn't mean all of the necessary details are actually going to be given out or squared away by the time baseball has this vote. And that's been interesting, right? Why hold back all of this information if it's good to go and it's squared away and nobody or nothing's going to stop it? What's the difference? It's going to come out anyway. Why hold it back until like literally after a vote gets taken? They're going to go into this vote and take this vote with the public knowing nothing about it. And will we even ever know the result of this vote? Will we hear that it's 29-1, 28-2, 24-6? Who knows? Or that it was no, it was 15-15. Will we ever actually hear the result and who voted which way? But going back to the indications and the expectations, everybody seems to think that this is a done deal, that this is just going to pass without all the details, and with some people, even in The Athletic, being quoted as calling it iffy. People in the know calling it iffy. They don't really know if this is going to succeed, but they'll take their chances on it. My questions, if invited to the press conference of Commissioner Rob Manfred, would be something like this, and I scribbled down 5 things here. Number 1, what is the defining proof in Major League Baseball's research done by the research committee that the A's will actually meet their projections and promises in Las Vegas, maybe how it didn't happen in Oakland? What's the proof that baseball has that this is going to work out different and better? That's kind of question number 1. Question number 2, what has Oakland specifically not provided up to this date? I'm not talking about a year ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago. What specifically has Oakland not provided as of today that the A's would have needed to stay? Because I think the answer to that is it's a very tough one here and now. If you asked me that 12, 18 months ago, I'd say, yeah, there's some things that Oakland hasn't come through with yet. But as of now, it's hard to go against that. Question number 3, what happens if and when that $380 million of public funding in the state of Nevada goes away, vanishes? Do you have a plan B? Is there a way to get around this seamlessly and flawlessly? Because I'll go over that at the end here. That's kind of another detail that's definitely emerged in the last 12 to 24 hours. Schools Over Stadiums is not only going to move forward with their petitioning and their approach to try and get a referendum vote to take away the public funding, they're now, they say, close to a lawsuit against SB1, but I'll explain that in a second. Okay, so we're 3 questions in. Number 1, again, the defining proof that baseball's research shows the A's will meet projections and be different in Las Vegas. Number 2, what specifically has Oakland not provided up to this point that the A's would have needed to stay? Number 3, what happens if the public money goes away entirely in Las Vegas? Number 4, how about Major League Baseball's Players Association? Have they approved these potential sites for a temporary home between 2025 and 2027? 3 full years of Major League Baseball that could be in a stadium that has never housed Major League Baseball before, in a city that's never housed Major League Baseball before? Are they on board with this? What if they're not? Are you willing to work that part out? And number 5, similar to when the A's left Kansas City, what would stop Major League Baseball right here and right now from announcing an expansion team for Oakland? That's right, Charlie O. Finley, back in the day when they were the Kansas City A's, was desperately trying to get the A's out of KC after what, like 10 years? And then by the 11th and 12 years, there was turmoil. I have a video here on the channel. The Kentucky A's, he tried to move the team to Louisville and the fairgrounds. Owner said, no, that's not happening. And ultimately, they did approve, as you know, the A's to move to Oakland. But what did baseball do as part of that process? They gave Kansas City an expansion team literally the year after the A's left. Why couldn't that history repeat itself? What would stop baseball right now from making this part of the process? I mean, apparently you've heard the A's side of things and why they're desperate to leave, but have you also not recently heard Oakland's side of things and what exists here and now in the East Bay? Those would be the 5 questions I have for Commissioner Manfred. And again, not to take away from who will be asking questions at this media session on Thursday, because I do know there are some local, educated, background, heavy people that are going to be there. But I hope there's follow-ups, and I hope there's some really tough questions that are asked. Because this is a tough situation that can go by quickly if there's no questions asked. Let me end the video by talking a little bit about Schools Over Stadiums, which you know has existed for months now, basically since right after the legislative session ended back in June, or the special session ended. They came together. They went out and announced that they were going to collect signatures to cause a referendum vote to get $380 million of public funding taken away. They had a hearing with a Nevada judge who said, you know what, you can't actually move forward like you're doing it right now, but if you change the language up, you can actually do it. Well, guess what? They didn't lose a single signature in the process because they haven't even started the process of gathering signatures yet. They also have 7+ months to get their 102,000 signatures. They need about 25,000 signatures from different congressional districts across the state. 3 of them are in southern Nevada. Basically, 3 of them converge in Las Vegas. So you need 25 from the north, you need 75+ from the south, and 7+ months to do it among teachers, among students, and their families. It's not only that, but within the last day and a half or 2 days, Schools Over Stadiums has also come out to say that they're very close to filing a lawsuit against SB1 because they say it violates 5 different sections of Nevada's state constitution. So we talk about the old parallel paths. Schools Over Stadiums is now doing parallel paths on 2 fronts. They're trying to take away the public funding aspect of this project. 2 quick thoughts on that. It may not stop the entire project. The A's ownership could reach out to somebody else who wants to invest and will take on their $380 million. They're now partners in this project, and they move on as if nothing happened. It's possible. It's also possible because the A's said flat out without the 380, they wouldn't be doing the project. Maybe it stops it entirely. The other thing to think about with Schools Over Stadiums, I know there's the criticism, well, schools aren't going to instantly get the $380 million, but that's not why they're going for this. It's because they don't want to get blocked in the future from getting money via the state or Clark County. They want to protect resources down the line for things they're fighting for. Because if this goes through, it's going to make that dollar amount in the future a lot harder to go after. So I get it. They will not be receiving $380 million at all if they're able to take it away from the stadium project, but they're trying to protect future interests, and that's why they're doing this. Okay, my quick close to this video is to say that, if and when this all goes down on Thursday, I think it's pretty predictable what the reaction in Oakland is going to be. For Oakland A's fans, frustration, disbelief, anger, you name it. You don't even need that to be described. But what I really want you to think about is, what exactly is the reaction in Las Vegas? Will this even be a blip on their radar? And it's not just because F1's going on this weekend and the Raiders season is in full swing and UNLV's having a great football season, or the Golden Knights are having continued success and the Aces just won a WNBA title. It's not because of that. It's because this has never really been a big deal down there to them. There's not a group that's clamoring to get Major League Baseball or even the A's specifically in Las Vegas. That's going to be the hard part of this. You made it here to the end of the video. I appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. Also, don't forget, subscribe to the channel so I can see you next time.